Welcome to the Ladies' Date, and this is just a show where we create a space for women who are young, who are old, who are married, who are not married, women who are, figuring out their lives, who have figured out their lives. And it's just a space also where we get to receive insight from the Word of God as women. What does Scripture say about us concerning these different issues that we are going through every single day? And actually, today we'll be looking at one of those issues, and it is conflict in families and how we as women are affected by conflict in families. And I pray that we will learn from it. And my name is Bahati. Kyama, I am your host, and in the panel I have a very interesting team. And today we will be discussing conflict in families. And I have I can call it now my panel, and I'll just let them introduce themselves and just tell us more about themselves.
Mm-hmm. I'm Agnes Kinyanzui. I'm born again. I love Jesus Christ. He's my personal savior. I am a mother and a grandmother. I'm married by one husband, and we love each other. Thank you.
I'm Lucy Nyambura Mukunu. I'm a mom of two, a boy and a girl, and I'm saved. I love the Lord too. Yeah, and I'm here to discuss these matters.
I'm Mrs. Lawrence Angala. I'm born again. I love the Lord Jesus as my personal savior. He comes number one. I'm married. I'm a mother of 5. I forgot to say previously, I'm also a grandmother. And I'm into business. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Wow. And what do you think is the source of conflict in families? We're in a time where there are so many conflicts in home. People are killing each other. You hear a husband kill the wife, kill the children, and kill himself. What do you think is the source of conflict? Maybe we start with Lucy.
Conflict, I would put it as a vice. As we are looking into this, we are looking in the biblical way. We are letting the Bible be our guide today. So I would say it comes as a vice. So it means in that household there is no godliness. After that household lacking the godliness, there is lack of communication. And because I believe every time you communicate with your partner, every time you allow God to be there, I think there's no handle or there's no challenge that you cannot overcome. Because I'm telling you, today, if I'm sitting here with my spouse, I'll tell him, I'm going through this and this, or you're doing this and this, and it's affecting me. You see, number one, we have communicated. Then number two, we'll let the Lord prevail. Either we can go and get mentorship from the church or just from the Bible itself, because there's nothing on this earth that has never been done before. So it's a matter of, are we relating well? Are we communicating? Are we giving out those feelings? And then we are able to work it out. But if there's no godliness, if there's no communication, then those ties are cut. Then you end up killing each other. You end up separating, divorcing. The vices come in. Yeah.
First, how does conflict arise, or what causes conflict? First, mostly in relationships, conflict will always come about as sometimes lack of communication, trust, insecurities. So first, we should always try to figure out where it's coming from, what is causing the conflict, what is the source of the conflict, and from there we can know how to address it. Because if there is good communication is key in everything. At home, in the family setting, in the workplace, everywhere you go, even in church, communication is key. Yes.
Yeah, with all that said, I can say conflict started at the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve, because when Adam was told by God, when he was given instructions by God, he never followed, he disobeyed. And then that trickled down to their children. Because also Cain and Abel had conflict, serious conflict. And the death started from there. Because they did not, maybe they never communicated to one another. Well, to everybody to take his responsibility. Because everybody was doing his own thing. Cain was doing his own thing, Abel was doing his own thing. But then conflict came in between. That Cain saw as if Abel was favored. And when he discovered that Abel was favored, that is why the death came in. It came in a very bad way. Because you see, Cain was the brother of Abel. So even when we hear people have killed one another, we have to reflect just from the beginning what happened. And conflict comes in because of misunderstanding. Misunderstanding, and you find there is no respect, there is no proper communication, there is no proper relationship in between. So it crops in and it spoils the family.
Wow. Maybe there was a recent incident, I'll use it as a basis of a video that was going around of a lady. She was married and she was yelling at the husband and all that. So my question is, do you think even us as women, we have contributed to these conflicts that are actually happening in families? Do you think women have played a role?
We are as guilty as charged. Yeah. And by the time you see an incident like that one, that was just the result or the tip of the iceberg. There is much in that family. By the time it gets to that level, that is almost like that family is not functioning. Because in that video you could see the girl there lifting her legs. She's almost half naked, dressing before the father. The father is there. The father was like doing something commercial because that man was so casual about it. He knew what he was doing. He wanted to expose the wife. So you could hear him firing. It was like a cameraman of sorts. So, and the woman also, when it comes to, she was not submissive. So when it comes to us, because you said we use that as an example, there is a lot of trouble. People are getting out of their place. No submissiveness there, no respect, no morals, no. The children are there, you are shouting. What can I call it? You know, the sanctity of marriage. You know, that partnership. Just the way you meet boy, girl, or man, woman, where you started. And now before these children, there's no respect, there is no honor. So that means by the time you get to such a point, God is at the back seat over there. So there is a lot happening.
And conflict can also come from relatives. Yeah, when they are not understanding, uh, especially when they are not understanding your relationship with your husband, they can bring some conflict. Maybe they want to see a lady doing more than her husband. And the other side, because we have two pairs of parents. For my parents, my husband's parents, when they every parent is advising his child what to do, the other side the same, but then you find, okay, when you bring whatever you have been given by your parents to the other person, from the other end, you find there are things which cannot match. And then when you are trying to bring them together, the conflict comes in, and then you find there are so many misunderstandings in the family. But the most important thing is, if other people are coming, the husband has a responsibility of protecting, of building a wall around his family. He should not allow anybody to come in and bring other issues in his family. He should be aware, and he should find a way of keeping those people aside. Only if there is any other thing outside his family, he can try to intervene outside there. But the family conflict in the family, and especially conflict of husband and the wife, and also children will be included, then there must be a problem. Either they are some of them are Christians, others are non-Christian. So you find, when you are trying to solve that conflict or that problem, they are not understand. Some of them are not understanding. So what we are supposed to do is to see what we can do to pray that God can come in and solve this problem.
Yeah, and there's also this conflict of they say children and parents. And they reach up at a particular point. Well, maybe I was there at some point with my own parents, and you just feel parents don't understand. So how do you think, maybe even as, I know you are mothers, as mothers, how do you come in these scenarios where maybe not just teenagers or people are in campus, everyone feels I have a mind of my own, you feel you're under my roof?
And you have to go.
Or even now Lucy has small kids, sometimes there's such a disagreement, and then they just feel you mom when you mean.
True.
Yeah.
True. I always feel like we should always have that one person. Even for our kids, we should make sure they have that one person. It could be you that they're comfortable with. It could be a relative, a guardian, like the dad. You see, in a marriage, there's a man and wife. There's mother and father. So this kid should at least have one person that they can really rely on, feel connected to. So in my scenario, it has always been let me just give an example of my daughter. She feels more connected to the grandmother, and whenever I feel like I'm in a place where I'm not penetrating through, I will always give my mom a call and let her talk to her. By then I'll feel like we have solved something. But if I'm to say, because I'm the head in my house and it has to be me, then I feel like she might get to a point she'll just want to rebel. Because you see, she's not really connecting with me. We love each other, we talk, but there's that connection. When I was young, I used to be very much connected with my late dad. No matter who came, they wouldn't solve. If I had issues, maybe running away from school, I would only listen to my dad. So you should have that person. Let your child, or rather let your partner have a person they feel more open to. Even a pastor, it can be a pastor. You're in this conflict, you're not getting anywhere because we are bound to disagree in some things. But if you get someone who can join you together, then let that be let that person be there in terms of conflict.
Okay, and conflict between parents and the children, it's real. It's real. That's the time when you really, if you really checked, done a background check, you realize that most people run to church or get saved because of the pressure of parenting. That's when many people decide. You'll see many people running to church because on your own, you cannot just do it. Because trust me, a pastor does not give birth to a small pastor, a deputy pastor. You give birth to a natural child with their own minds, and they come as they come, and all of them are different. They are individuals. So for me, now we've grown children. I can say one is already through school, starting life. Two, in fact. The other one just cleared. Another one in campus. The other one in clearing a high school. Another one in primary school. And now the granddaughter in in the playgroup. So I have the entire batch there. So I think God has been the driving force. Because even sometimes as parents, we are frustrated. You talk to this person you are feeding and they are answering you back, especially when they are past around 8 years or so. They are no longer the little angels. Mommy, stand up, sit down. You know, now they are starting to, and exactly when they clock 12, because you should mold children before they get to the age of 12. Because when they get to the age of 12, they start becoming their own person, their own mind. They are trying to discover the world. They are starting to get a character or a personality of their own and detaching from the parents. And from 12, that is now when the real parenting, or that's when you really need the skills. And without God, I tell you, it's hard. So for me, there came a point when now, especially now when they've grown, there's a tough period between 12 to 18, 19 there. Then there is another season, Mama knows, when it gets easier. Now, it reached a point that we said, now, let us do family meetings. Because, you know, we are parenting in the now. The way I was brought up, the way the older ones were brought up, who are in our 40s, 50s is not the same. Like those who are parenting the young parents at 20, at 30, it's no longer the same. What worked for me, how my mother brought me up, I cannot apply the same to my children now. It won't work. It will just bring a lot of conflict. So it's a balance, but always being firm and making sure that in the family setup, this is dad, he's the head, or if at all you are a single parent, I'm the one in charge. There are boundaries. Respect us to be there. Understanding. Let us love one another. And always remember, I might be tough on you, but I always got your back. You'll run out there, but you'll always come running back home. So we sit, we talk, you listen to them, you make them, first you listen, then you pick up from the entire conversation and just know wisely what to say, what not to say. So that's when you need a lot of wisdom, understanding. A lot of parenting gives you a lot of, you have to be very, very patient. Very patient. And then knowing whatever you applied for daughter number one or son number one, they are not the same. They are totally different people with different characters. So you can't treat them like a package. Everyone on their own, and try to create time with each and every one of them. And make them understand though, because the major point of conflict in parenting, especially when it comes to at a younger ages, I've said it's not a big deal. They obey. They are young. They are innocent. But as they get into teenage, that is when the real problems come in. So you have to make them understand that it is God who chose parents, and I'm here for you, for your good. I've walked this path. Remember, I've been a teen too. I know this thing. Don't shy away. Don't pretend. Don't be like, I'm too born again. That you know, you are like, you are not getting real. And even if you pretend and we don't talk about these things in their house, they'll get out there. They'll experience these things. They'll mingle with the other children in school, in church, out there. So be real with them. Discuss the topics. If it's through this, the challenges of teenage, if it's smoking, if it's boys, if it's drugs, sex, relationships, just be real. Be so real, because like now, in our age, like now it's technology age. Some households, or even if there is no Wi-Fi in your house, people, children will always get 20 bob, and they'll borrow a smartphone from their friends, even if they don't have. And now, as we parent now, like me now, I'm right there. Now this has become the real devil now. They might not be doing anything out there, but now the devil is here. Just as you sit there around there, they are just there with you. They've not gone anywhere. So you have to be real, address those issues, the tough issues, make them understand, and make them understand that though I'm tough, I'm here for you. I'm tough because I've been there. Pornography, cults, whatever in these phones. The phone is good, yes, but there's danger there. Make them understand everything. Though ukiona nikizima Wi-Fi or na kunyima isi kwa ubaya, I'm just trying to protect you. Because when you watch pornography, what will you do? You are not married. Just get real with them. And if you are real with them, they'll always come out and speak to you. And though you'll differ from time to time, you'll always come to a point, and then give them a chance to speak and try to understand them. You go to an extent of allowing them, what do you think I do overboard? And then now they laugh. And when you must, a good time, there is food, everybody is relaxed, maybe nobody is going anywhere, the entire family is there, and then you discuss. So what would you like me to change it? Hey mom, you are good here, but here, umeenda sana. And then you tell them, but then they understand. You've told us over and over again, it's because of 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Let's hear from Mrs. Kinyanzi, whose her children are married. They have conflict.
I thank God. I thank God because I'm not saying I'm a good mom, but it is just by the help of God, because we have never had conflict with my children. Only that first born who wanted to keep many dreads. But then again, I had to take him aside and read a scripture for him. And you know, when he became born again, he became very strong up to today. And I remember sometimes back when he was newly born again, I had some issues. Then he came and saw the way I'm appearing, as if I was just having something in my, which was bothering me. So he came and he looked at me and told me, "Mommy, I want to teach you a song." And I asked him, "Okay, which song do you want to teach me?" Hebu listen kwanza. He sang, then I thought, hey, that is the song, in fact, that I needed. Okay, teach me. Then he taught me. he taught me the song which goes, God is able to do everything that comes in along the way. God is something like God is God is able to do more than you think. Then he taught me and we sang together. And whatever problem I had, gone. And then again, there was another instant that I had to sit them down, all of them. By then, Baba, though I love him, by the way. By then, you know, it's those years, 70s and 90s. 90s is when we were now communicating one-on-one properly. Then they asked me, one of them, the second one, asked me, "Mommy, is it good to befriend a girl?" Then na hiyo thought imetoka wapi? Kwani, do you have a friend? He told me, "No, I don't have a friend, but then I want just in case I want to have one." I told him it is not bad, but then there are limits which you cannot pass. Oh, okay. Then you will tell me when I'm ready for that. I told him, yes, I will tell you. He never came back to me. But then I'm saying conflicts in the family are not one of the best. So we need to pray God to help us not to have conflicts in the family. There is one which came from outside, from my as I told you, the man, the husband, has to protect his family because he is the head of the family. So his sister, now in-laws, you know how they behave. His sister came and then he started misbehaving in the family. I told my husband, and she was told, in this home or in this house, Mama is the head of this family, not me. Is the head of this family because she is doing every ABCD, everything here. And if you cannot listen to her, you better go. That is, he tried to protect me. So the husbands must protect their wives when the conflict comes. Because she even went ahead to report me to father, and they gathered to talk to me. My husband told me at home. My husband told me, do not say anything. Let me handle it. When we went, then my father-in-law was alive by then. He was living by then. Then he listened, and everybody listened to what had happened. And their father said, if it were me, I would just do the same as Agnes did. Then they had no say to say. So I was very proud because my husband came in and they protected me. So conflicts, when they come, we need to sit down and find out why is these conflicts coming? Is it because we are not communicating well, or is it because we do not love one another? Because there must be love in the family. Love is the most important thing, and the understanding, communicating properly is good in the family, and you never get a lot of conflicts in the family. Because one would come with come with something, put it on the table, say this is what is happening. Another one, this is what is happening, and then we are together there. as Florence said, we have to gather and see where is the conflict coming from. Then when we find out where it is coming from, then we need to solve the problem, and everything will be okay, will be normal, because conflict comes, whether we like it or not, it comes in the family.
Yeah, and let's say, family, you're seated together. Let's say if you're married, your husband is there, then you disagree on something. Do you pick it up? What do you think you should do? Your children are there, and maybe you're having dinner, and then you just that statement, you're like, me, that statement. How do you handle that?
You should first, if there's respect and maturity, and maturity unfortunately doesn't come even with age. Something you strive for, to acquire and learn. Marriage takes a lot. You have to be patient, you have to be wise, you have to know what to say, where, especially in front of people and children. You should know how to handle each other. And especially when it comes to the children, you should always remember that there is the relationship between you and your spouse. And then they are the children to be protected because they have their lives to live. Do not create a bad picture, because most of the time when you will hear someone say, I'll never get married again, I don't want to marry, and you wonder, where is this coming from? Some of those issues or maybe the fears are deep down from the family, because of the way I used to see my mama and my dad fight, the way they used to relate. So especially where there are children, we should always be sensitive. It's not only about us. There are children with their own lives ahead, because we are custodians and God has given us to nurture them. So we should strive at all times, try to protect the children, because we have our relationship. That is their father, that is their mother. You are my wife, you are my husband. Na saa ingine haiwahusu. It's about you. And you are the grown-ups anyway. No matter how old they get, you should be the wiser ones. You should know how to deal with your issues. Na kama it's too much, you should learn your partner, and one of you has to give way. Hata ikizidi, kama ni bwana, just say she's a weak vessel, she's being foolish. Let me keep quiet for the sake of his children.
Okay, sometimes, let me just interrupt on that. Well, I feel like that's the ideal thing to do. Like when you're in this family setting, there's an argument that has come up, and you feel the need to shield the children.
Yeah.
I feel like we are creating a disaster in the future, because this child will not know how to express. I'm not okay, I'm speaking in terms of, you don't have to bring that conflict of shouting or disrespecting someone, but you should be in a position to express, like, wow, you've hurt my feelings, or this and this has happened, so that at the end of the day, they'll go outside there, they'll meet other characters who have been taught differently, or who have grown up knowing something different.
Yes, or grow up thinking, kwetu mimi sikuiona disagreements, and they're married. Why am I disagreeing with you? And me, I've never seen my mom and dad.
It's like
disagree.
they're in a bubble, and you can't stay in a bubble forever. At one point or another, I think it's okay. It's okay, because we are humans. We are not perfect. When you shield them from those arguments, it's like you're telling them life is perfect. There are no conflicts, there are no arguments. You should always agree with 1, 2, 3. So I'm not saying that we should fight, but arguments is okay. You can even disagree with your husband, but to a certain level, for them to see what happens in the normal world.
Okay, I was the point from which I was coming from is, I'm not saying you don't communicate or you don't disagree. Of course, we disagree. We go to the supermarkets, and especially the daughters, they have a way with the fathers.
Yeah.
They are the darling of the family, and then you are left with the sons. Conflicts are always there in every aspect of it. But I was just saying on the extreme, like where that video, what Anne was saying. To fight when they will go. But on the normal argument of to buy this and to buy this, you find a way as a family, just as we said before. What works for me does not work for the other party. Know your partner well. Just know if I press this button, this person will go off. Just know your limits with this person. So as a couple, you know each other well and how to express yourselves. But you can argue if it's healthy, in a polite way, no vulgar language. That's what I mean by shielding them. You don't have to go full blast before the children.
That's true.
And then mfike tu mahali fulani, then ukisikia inazidi, hold it back. Alafu mkasoti huko mbele.
Yeah. And oh yes.
To add on that, you bite your tongue if you don't want to speak. Anyway, conflict. You said two of you, in case you are married, two of you are living together, and some conflict comes in between. What would you do? That was your question.
Yes, no, but I was saying the one that you have children, but the disagreement is between the two of you, and it has happened when maybe we are eating, and the children are
This one, you have to solve. You have to see two of you without the children, maybe in the bedroom, or you move out for a date somewhere, go and sit there and solve your differences. But you do not involve the children, because the children will not understand you, will not understand what is happening, will not. But if you do it in front of them, hey, you have spoiled everything, because they will imitate you. They will imitate, oh, this is what daddy does to my mom. This is what mom does to my dad. This is how they speak. They will start shouting even to you as a parent. When you are talking to them, they will start shouting. And to stop this, the conflict between a husband and wife is solved outside. I mean, without children. The children, maybe you take them somewhere, or if you don't have a place to take them somewhere, because maybe the house is not big enough to sit in there, in your sacred place in the bedroom. You yourselves, you have to find a way of moving out and sit somewhere, so that you may solve that difference you have. The children will not understand, will not know what has been happening. You have gone with the dad out. Then they will say, okay, they have gone on date.
Yeah, because Anne, remember, the relationship between a son and daughter, and vice versa, it's by blood. But spouses are romantically involved, and sometimes the emotions can run high. That's why there should be a limit, and children will always know.
the sense the tension.
There's a chicken one in my house who says, "Hey," and she'll pass, go get water, and she's like, "Ha, watu huku leo kumeharibika." They'll always know. They'll know there is trouble, and sometimes they help. As they grow, they help too. That's why it's called a family. They'll always know. They don't really need to know the nitty-gritty issues, because lovers have got issues. We have issues, and sometimes we go, you just need space, like here, like you are alone, and now, okay, bring it on now. Let's talk and iron things out. Bring the anger out, because huwezi pretend. But children will always know, huku leo kumeharibika, and they talk. They talk amongst themselves. If they don't have a sibling, they'll share with the neighbor. You'll say, kwetu leo si kuzuri, sijui huku nini naendelea. So wacha wajue tu si kuzuri. They know their couples, mom, dad disagree, they argue sometimes, but then they should not know the nitty-gritty issues and the vulgar language, because you don't know when the other person gets angry, what they might say. Sometimes they are not in their right mind. Maybe they are not born again. Maybe this person is drunk. How do you address them? So you see.
That's true.
Yeah.
So as my son came and he saw me, he told me that song. God will make a way where there seems to be no way. He works in ways he cannot see, you cannot see. He will make a way. He will make a way. So he saw me and then he could not ask, "Kwani, what is happening with you, mom? You are so dull and you always smile and do what. No. He came as a wise boy. Came and approached me and said, "Well, mommy, I can teach you a song." So it helped me because when he came, he found a happy mother, a happy wife. And I did not ask anything. I kept quiet and everything sorted it out well. So conflicts are not supposed to be, they are supposed to be solved wisely. Because God has given me, He has given us wisdom.
Yes.
He has given us wisdom. He has given me us understanding and all that. So we need to be wise.
Yeah. And also, yes, there is that conflict, but I'm imagining where there is a house girl and there are people who even shout. Let's say you shout at your house girl in front of the children, and children pick up that bossiness. And they command. And how do you think some of these things need to be solved? And is it okay to even maybe correct your house girl in front of the children and just
It's not correct. I'll still say we can't like shield our kids very much, but there are some behaviors that you don't need to be told. It's logic, eh? Like if at all this person, the same way you'd expect treatment from your boss, you know you are now the boss in the house, but out there where you're employed, you're the boss, and you want your boss to treat you with respect or with good regard, call you aside and tell you 1, 2, 3. So the same way in the house, you should do the same. Call your house help, tell her this is not what's supposed to happen. However, I've had instances where it's the house girl and the child. They are
having a
colluding.
conflict.
They are not having a conflict. They have wronged, as in they are in the bad together. You see, our children tend
They collabo.
they collabo.
Yes.
They collaborate and do something bad. You see, you'll sit them together and talk to them. You won't separate the two.
Yeah.
Because the house help is like your daughter, your older daughter. Okay, in my place, that's how I take them. So I'll put them together and talk to them, because she's you see, my daughter or my son rather will try to emulate. You're not there all the time, so they're trying to emulate some of these behaviors, and if I shield that, she'll never learn. So I would rather be open. It might hurt someone's feeling, but at the end of the day, some things have to be put in the open. So I have to have those boundaries, and I'll sit them together and tell them, this is not what's supposed to be. You know the right and the wrong, but when it comes to those things that it's the help who has done the wrong alone, and I know the magnitude of that mistake, in fact, I keep praying and asking for that wisdom, as you've said. You have to pray and say, God, give me this wisdom to do the right, because I don't know everything. I'm bound to also make mistakes in this.
And again, we have to take care of these households. We respect them.
Yeah.
Because they do a lot of things. I mean, they do a hard job in the house, taking care of children and all that in the house. They need to be respected because they are also human beings. And they came here to assist you or to help you. So, if you mistreat them, then your children will be mistreated. And especially when they are young, will be mistreated. I think you have seen another new in the WhatsApp, another maid who beat the children of a certain woman when she was on duty. And they were taken and but took them to the hospital. And the girl was arrested, and I don't know whether she was charged or what. It is because maybe she was mistreated. She was mistreated by the lady employer or what. It was not explained. It is good to respect them and to take care of them, and that in case of any mistake she has made, you do not shout them in front of the children. You just call her, as you have said, you call her out, somewhere, and speak to her, tell her this is not right, whatever you did was not right, and I do not want it to be repeated. And she will, as a human being, she will be able to listen and follow your instructions. The problem is us when we get a house help in the house. We do not instruct them the way they are supposed to behave. In fact, if you respect her, then she will also respect you.
Wow. This is very interesting. And do you think parents usually have favorites? Huyu ateteshi sana lakini ule.
Yes, they do.
Favorites how?
Maybe your children. Kuna ule mwenye yani
Yeah,
You
napenda
connect.
sana.
huwa anambonga tu, don't do that again. Ule
Okay,
mwingine.
Lazima
for
acha.
me, for me, it's not really a favorite, but there's I usually tell my children, there's the relationship of because I'm your mother, or because this is your sister. But then you should make some effort. We work on our relationship to make the bond stronger. Because if you are really a troublesome child, or if we are always fighting, strange relationships, so you will tend to think your obedient brother or sister is favored. But they are more sensitive. Because I'm also a human being. Yes, as much as you are a parent, because parenting does not come with a manual. You have like 3-4 different characters in the house. The introvert, the extrovert, the naughty one. And you are trying to deal all with that, including your relationship with the father and work and everything. So you are trying to, you understand? So if at all there is one who really understands you, like, hey mom, karibu, umechoka, they pick the paper bag. Umeleta nini? And another one is just watching you and they don't even say hi. So you see, you naturally the bond between the one who is warm and caring will kind of grow stronger. So someone will mistake that for that being the favorite child. But sometimes you might lean to the most obedient ones or the good ones. But you have to bear in mind that you are a parent to all of them. And they are parents and their families whereby there is a favorite child, and it should not be so. Yes, because I saw it happen in our place. I know mom's favorite daughter. Funny enough for her, the naughty one. So it happens, but it has its repercussions later as they relate. You have to bear in mind that children are a gift from God, and you are just just think of it as a factory. a product you are manufacturing. Sindio? From the processing to the packaging. Are they able to be picked from the shelf as they go out there in the workplace, as they start their careers, relationships with the other people, in marriage, whatever. So you should, everything we do, and just the way we relate with them, the way they relate between brother, sister, you should make sure that it's a wholesome character as they go out there in the world. So it's really, really delicate. And nobody is an expert. That's why we keep on praying for wisdom and wisdom and wisdom.
Lucy had said yes. Now I really want to hear.
Yes, it's there. The favoritism bit is there. I would say there's a child, as she has said, you may feel more connected with the one that is home, or the one who listens to you more, because each child has his or her own character.
Yeah.
We are all different. Even us, like when we were growing up, you and your siblings, if you compare yourself, you are different. So there's one character that will bond maybe with the mother or the father, it happens. But I think after all that, I always go back to wanting to reassure. Like now, let me just give an example. A while back, my daughter, we went for shopping with my sisters, and they each picked an item for my kids. I was very broke that time. So when when we went for a vacation somewhere, and then we would I would tell my daughter, put on this and this, the one that Mama Nani bought you. You see, in her head, she sticks to it's Auntie Wambo bought me this, or Auntie Carol bought my brother this. So in her mind, kumbe she was thinking, this auntie of mine bought my brother this because she loves my brother more than she loves me. And this one bought me this one because she loves me more. So when I got that, I was like, oh my God, you're lost. No, it's not like that. It's just what was available. It wasn't even about you or your cousins or whoever. It's just about what was available and the money that was there. So you see, you have to reassure them. Yeah, keep reassuring. And it all comes into that understanding. They get to a place where they will understand. We understand today. Whether your mom has a favorite or not, you still know you're her child and she loves you as much as she loves the other.
And again, is it good to show that you love this one more than the rest? I don't think whether it is good. It is not good to show, because see, they are observing. They are observing, but then when they are observing, to show that you love a particular child.
How?
Maybe you defend them.
Yeah,
they do something, you're like, hey, mbona mnamshautia? You know, like every time you're always on there.
Leaning towards this one.
So you try to be fair. You try to be fair.
Try to be fair to all of them.
Food, clothes, you give them equal opportunities. True. Yeah.
But it's not okay. It's ideal. That's how it should be.
But it's not always the case.
It's not practical. It's not practical. It's not. Just as you've said, there are those factors that will make you lean onto one child as opposed to the others. It could just look at these families who have kids with special needs. There's a way those parents will take more care of this one who has, and the other one might feel like they're being left out. But in one way or another, it's the responsibility of the mother and the father to see the normal one. Let me just say the normal ones, and try to make them understand that this one needs. In fact, you can even chip in. Yeah, you can even, you as the siblings, you can chip in.
Yeah, to assist.
And then again, Anne, sometimes you can sense, be wise enough to sense. Sometimes you learn it from them and what they are saying and what they are behaving.
Yeah.
Because you are also human too, dealing with your own stuff too. And last week someone was sick in the house, and so our focus was on the sick person. And someone there felt like, jamaa ameonyesha attention more. And then we are seated after dinner, and someone from the blues is, oh, hata mimi nasikia. Oh. Then the father is like, amekwambia alikuwa mgonjwa. And I'm like, no. Then I remembered and tapped him and I told him, someone is calling you outside. Then we went outside and I was like, do you know we focused on so and so so much, so this one feels neglected.
Yes.
Are you taking juice? Take your medication, wake up, shower. And she saw, okay. So now he is the only one around here. So now we went, what is wrong with this one? So she's not sick.
Attention.
We focused on one person and now we came back and, oh, sorry, you're also sick. Oh, we make you a cup of tea and you just try to listen and be sensitive to their feeling so that you don't, you see?
Yeah.
Because maybe I could have shouted and said, you are not sick, I know. And then I realized, oh, we focused on this one. So this one thinks that you love the other one more. So we should also be sensitive and wise as parents. It's really it's a sensitive balance. It's always sensitive. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Maybe at this point we'll just each share our parting shot concerning conflict in families, because we've looked at conflict among parents and children, parents themselves.
Yes, what I can say, the final word is families. Families family is a place. It's a place to be for everybody, and to nurture the families the way of God, because even if there is someone who is not, who does not understand the way of God, we need also to bring or to nurture him to the point that he will one day come to, because they don't get born again the same time. Everyone has its own time to get saved. So you carry them, all of them, the same, and they still keep on praying for the family to know God, so that these conflicts may not come along. Because if you will find some families having conflicts now and then, they don't even finish a month without some conflict comes in. But when they know God and they know the word of God, then the conflict will be very few. I don't say that they will disappear, because they will come, but then we will know how to solve them, because you have the word of God with them. And then that is the families. Now the other thing is the man of the family, the head of the family, is supposed to shield his family, so that they may know. Like you have seen the hen with the chicks and the birds when they fly. I mean, this whatever that comes to take the chicks. He makes sure every chick is under his wings, covering. So the man has to cover his family, that these conflicts should not come from the outside to the family. Because when that happens, then you find that the door is open for many things which would spoil the family. So he needs to shield the family. And then any conflict in the family, we need to pray God and solve the family in a godly way.
Amen.
Well, my take home. I would say if you can always remember that this family is a team. We are one. Whether it's the spouse, whether it's with the kids, it's our team. You know, it starts here amongst us before going outside there. I think then there will be reduction in these conflicts. We will not have major issues. And I say that with a lot of experience, and coming from a place where I've seen us grow. Like, let me just talk about my family, me and my sisters and my mom and my dad, my late dad, sorry. Growing up, we would have conflicts, we would have those issues of thinking this one is favored more or something of the sort. But today, we rarely have conflicts. Reason being, there was that assurity of this happens because of this and this, you are explained to, then you get that comfort. My mom could be quite intense, you know, the way our moms were, like anakwambia neno and then you're like, oh my god, is this my mom? But when you remember, she's coming from a place of love. At the end of the day, she's coming from a place of love. And I keep reminding my daughter that I'm tough, yes. I might even rush you sometimes, or my son, I might beat you or give you time out, but I'm coming from a place of love. I'm your everything. I'm your mom and I love you. I think that brings more understanding, more communication, and then you find that the conflicts become less and less and less.
For me, my heart goes out to, the husband and wife, to the married. That's where the big elephant in the house is, especially in these times and as the years go by, like now in this season of corona, the economic hardships, there's a lot of misunderstanding, disease, death, and there's a lot of pain, and it's causing a lot of strain in the marriages. So let us try to be sensitive. Let us address issues as they occur. First, we stem out the root cause of conflict. We don't have to wait for things to escalate up to there so that we come out bursting and all. You don't have to bottom in all the anger, and that comes about when issues are not resolved. These small misunderstandings, umeniangalia aje, oh, nini, talk. Sit somewhere out, talk. If an issue arises, sort it out. You don't have to wait for it to get up there, because there is a lot of strife out there. Yeah, because of the challenges of life. Because when the spouses are okay, it will be easier, because now you are one team, and now you bring the children aboard. They have a safe place.
And do you think also this strife is being people spending, because you see, someone said when corona came, you had nowhere to go. You had to be there with your husband or your wife. Do you think, is it because people are not spending time together, and now corona came and we are home by 8 p.m.
Yeah. I think that is a result of now your relationship in detail. Like you know, when you are starting out, when you are dating, when you are newlyweds, you are into each other, you are so interested, and then you reach somewhere, and when issues start occurring, muna dodge, you hide kazini, huku na huku. So when you come home as a couple, you just hi, cooking, doing this homework, you sleep, wake up again, and it's like basically you've run away from the relationship. And then corona came, and it brought us all home together, and we all had to be at home with family.
Yes.
And now that is when the relationships that have been neglected, that is when trouble started. Yeah.
Wow.
Because we were some people are many people do hide. Instead of sorting out your issues, your relationship issues, you run away or you wish it away. It won't go away. You will go around the world, you'll come back and find it. Yeah, just like my grandmother used to say, you cannot ignore your bed, because when darkness comes, you have to go back there. So we have to sort issues, relate well, and deal with issues as they occur. And above all, Stay rooted in God. Pray for each other. Pray for your spouse. Pray for your children. Pray for wisdom.
Amen.
Yes.
I think when we talk about Corona, why God allowed this? Surely God allowed this. Because maybe we were not communicating well with our families. And He wanted these families to come together, to be together and to share everything together. But then a problem came because this person who was working has been told there is no job. Has to run to the family. I mean, he has to run in the house to shelter himself there, and he doesn't have anything to give the family or to. So instead of now asking each other, now what are we supposed to do? Because now here I am, I do not have a job. Maybe the wife has something to do. I mean, maybe she has a business or that. Then the wife would have said, you would say, okay, now here me, I get kidogo, I cannot get enough for the whole family. Now what do we do? Now instead of sitting together and discuss what they are supposed to do, now stress came in. The evil one brought stress. He brought stress to the man or to the woman that there could be no peace in the family. So when this came, I think it was God's making, because He wanted these people to be together and to sit down together and see what they can do, because there are many things one can start doing. There are so many things outside here one can do to make ends meet.
Yes.
Now the other thing is this brought a lot of stress, maybe because we were far away from God, where we were supposed to because God says we should not worry about anything. He says so.
Yeah.
And if we have faith, that Jesus said, if you have faith like a mustard seed, you will you will tell this mountain to move to the sea, and it will move. But here we have no faith. And that is why.
But again, Mama, sorry to cut you short, but I think speaking Corona, it brought out even those who had strayed.
What?
Yeah, some people had gone away from their families.
Yeah.
Nasikia story ya mipango ya
And that
kando.
is why God wanted
And now
them
Corona
to come.
brought you home. And now that is a source of
God
conflict.
wanted them to come
Yeah.
and be with their
Because the
with their
issues they ran away from, now they've come
They have
They
to face
come
them.
and they found them where they left them.
they left them.
Yes.
So they now the conflict
You have to
starts
deal, yeah.
to deal with them.
Yeah. So
So
that has been a major source of conflict also.
Yeah, as well. But then why? Because this man went away because he never knew God. But when he comes there, I have to tell him why he has to be there.
But Mama also, the born agains, the Christians in the church,
They had also,
not only sinners, even the born again brothers. It's real.
Had
They
conflicts.
also do the same.
No, they have mpango wa kando huko.
Yes. Let us be
Mipango ya
real.
kando huko.
Yes.
Mm.
They also, sometimes they behave like the sinners.
But it is God who can now help us to be what He wants us to be.
Because we
Because that
can't
is
really-
also something that is really
Yes.
breaking homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can't sit here and say there is no problem in church. That's why pastors are stressed. This person is born again. Sometimes I think we get too comfortable in salvation and think Jesus God is your brother. Big band bazoo. And now you get so comfortable, you sing, you serve, you do everything, and you go during the week, you do your stuff.
You're living
and that
life.
has become a thorn in the church.
In the church.
Sin is a thorn in the church.
What is the solution?
Maybe Pastor Ann tell us.
Well,
What would be the solution?
I think it is going back, I can say back to basics.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
back to, also as people taking God seriously. The way you're saying, we think God is our brother, I don't know, our age mate. And I can live on Monday to Saturday, I have a spango kando and I'm doing other things, and Sunday I'm serving in ministry. But remember, as I usually say, every man you'll pay for
Yeah,
everything
Yeah.
They will
that
stand
you have
before the
done. You will
throne.
stand before the throne and you will be judged, and the records shall be opened.
Yes.
So just also reminding people, but also I think praying for families.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seriously praying, investing in praying for families. Because one thing I know, what I can't do, what is impossible with me as a man, it is possible with God. Even bringing your husband back home and him kneeling down and saying, "Yeah, I need Jesus." It
And
is
not only
possible.
husbands,
And
even
even
wives too.
yes, wives who've decided, I'm not satisfied in this marriage.
Yeah, they start
I need
competing.
because I think that is a major source of breakups in
Breakups,
marriage.
Yes.
And yeah,
And the killings.
because it's that anger of yani you went out.
Yeah, and issues that have not been sorted. Something
I was
happens, you push it. Yeah. Resentment builds up. Pole pole. So one day someone will just step on your toe and you go
You
full
explode.
blast.
Yeah.
And you wonder,
That's
see,
why your gun.
this thing was small.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And it's just issues that have been unresolved for long, and that person gets bitter.
Yeah. But someone reaches a point where I can't stay with you anymore. As the court calls it, irreconcilable differences, but they were just piled up issues.
And
Yes.
then again I ask, if there is a conflict between a husband and a wife, instead of killing one another, why don't you just separate? Why don't you just separate? Go your own way because if I that you want to kill me, why should I wait to be killed? And you are showing me that you really hate me and you want to kill me. Why should I wait to be killed? Huh? So I think if there is this conflict that they cannot understand one another, then if it cannot be cooled down, what we can do is, what I can advise is inform some people, your relatives, inform them, and then tell them what is happening between you and your husband. And some husbands are very harsh. They will not even listen. And they will ask a wife, did I send you to call these people to come? Were they there when I met you? They would ask you so many questions. So instead of avoiding some questions, just call them, tell him that you will call his people and your people to come and listen what you are doing, the differences, and then maybe they will solve. They will cool them down. When they cool them down, then well and good. But the most thing is to pray God to bring wisdom between the people. I mean between the couples.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we've had so much. I'm sure maybe there are those of us who are watching this and you're going through a very tough time in your marriage, with your children, and maybe you're the child and you're having a hard time with your parents. And our prayer is that maybe as you listen to the many other solutions, you will pick something that will enable and help you in this life. but also just to encourage you. Maybe in the comments section, you can even write to us if you want us to pray with you. If you also like someone to talk to through these issues, we would be willing to walk with you through this journey. I personally have learned a lot that actually conflict is there in family. It is something that happens, but what matters is how we face this conflict. And I think what amazed me most is the part where they spoke about conflict beginning in the Bible, the story of Adam and Eve, of Abel and Cain. These were families and they had conflict, so let's not be surprised when we have this conflict, but also that we need to solve the conflict that you have, the privacy that you need, you, if you're married, you and your spouse, to solve this conflict. Let's not expose children to some of these things, and let's protect them. And also the other thing, men standing up and taking that role of protecting your family, covering them like the hen covers, the chicks. So above all these things, let's pray for our families. So if you're out there, kindly comment, like, share, subscribe to our channel, and feel free to share this information out there.